I'm not sure if my bandwidth is enough to support 2 videos. Let's see if it does. Okay. Can you see me on YouTube? Can you open up?
I'm working on it. I can't see it yet. I'm going.
Otherwise, I'll point my camera here to the table as well, so you can watch this from here. You don't have to use YouTube in that case.
Okay.
You don't have to use YouTube. Yeah. Let me just bear with me. I'm changing the angle.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, this is Henry with Jenny, right? I'm going to do a demo of dry mounting. Let me see. Oops. Sorry about the camera shakes. Okay, so you can see my table?
Yes.
Okay, let me move my screen. Oops, I cannot do it. It's not long enough. So I have to shift the direction. I'll do it on the other side. So, okay, now you can see me on this side.
Yes.
Okay, this is my working area. So this is the painting I'm going to mount. It's bought by a customer from our website. Actually, it's a gift painting. If you buy like a 200 merchandise, you'll get one of this kind of painting. It could be less than 200, just an example. So I will wet this painting with a felt underneath it. As I mentioned in our training session earlier, we will use a different padding for the initial flattening iron and the mounting. So this is the mounting fabric I'm going to use. I keep that away from this area. So this is the first step. I spray water to relax the painting. You might overspray it. That's my intention. I try to show you. So I really get it moisturized. So you will see all the wrinkles and the crease is flattened. But this is too wet. This is too wet. If you put it on a silicone paper, it might cause wrinkles. So this is too wet. What I do is I dry the paper because it's already flat. Actually, you don't have to really flatten it. I just call this, dry it a little bit. But it does iron. If you have by the way, some people try to get off the wrinkle before painting. You can also do this. Just flatten the paper with this water and let it dry on the table. Or you can iron it if you cannot wait. Or use a hair dryer. Hair dryer may cause problems because it's not even. Maybe iron is the best. So let me get a power here. I need the extension cord. I'll be back. hope I got enough. Because we have a very dry, it's a very dry season here. You see I keep drinking water all the time. No? So it dries really fast. I just do this symbolically, not really need to, because it dries so fast. Just get dry naturally here. So basically, I got a little moisture with the painting. You can see it's very soft. It's not dry, right? And then I remove this, and then you should clean the table. So if there should be any. Let me just clean it with a paper towel. I can see the table got wet. So there are 1,000 reasons why it got wrinkled, because this table is wet. You know, this table, actually, you better just do it on a different area. Maybe do it on this side of the table. So I can feel the wetness. Because when you iron it, the moisture would go up and then get on the back of the silicone paper. So you need to keep this non-film side of the silicone completely dry. That's the key. That kind of wrinkle or wave is caused by the moisture on the back of the silicone. I should use a paper weight. Let's just use this bottle. You could use some paper weight to hold the corners. So my backing paper is about the same size or slightly larger. I always trim it after it's been mounted, so don't have to be sterilized before mounting. Then I put a release paper from a previous project. Okay. And you use the hand, just press down, and you can. I see, you know, they start to getting because the unevenness of the moisture. So this is a little bit too wet. Maybe there's a problem, potential problem. But this, you know, most people will have this kind of situation where it spreads too much in certain area. Some areas not as much. So you might create uneven spread. So don't worry about that. As long as there's no moisture on the back, I think it should be fine. Just keep ironing it, because the silicone paper does not wrinkle. The paper that comes with the silicone gets wrinkled. The wet painting will not get wrinkled either, because I can just show you the process, okay? And we can monitor it from this. You can see some bubble is because you haven't because the wetness, you know, they're not easy to stick together. You have to keep ironing. My temperature is set at the wall. It's quite high because I work fast. You can set between the wall and the silk. So I just lower it. Most people may prefer lower temperature to start with. If it's not hot enough, you can increase it. Okay, you have to keep checking, like there's a fault, but it won't really hurt. Open it. Fold it. Let's see. So this you can, let me show you. The back should be completely dry, so there's no wave, no anything, because the table is completely dry, no moisture at all. Okay, just keep it iron. So it shouldn't have any problem. 99% of the problem is caused by moisture on the back of the silicone paper. Okay. So overspray water on the painting is okay. It seems like it was quite wet. I didn't really dry it because I think it will help to reduce the wrinkle, basically. If the painting is just like you iron a shirt, the moisture on the shirt helps to produce steam. Especially we have dry weather here. It's too dry. If no moisture, it's kind of hard to relax the painting and flatten the painting, but just make sure there's no water on the back of the silicone. So I increase the temperature a little bit just to set it. This is method A. It's more difficult than method B. If you use a plain backing paper that we provide on our website, you can mount the silicone on the backing first. Also, you can use watercolor paper, Bristol paper, or multimedia paper, or like a museum board, that kind of thing. You mount the backing first, then you do the painting on top of that. It's much easier. Because I'm going to send it in a tube. I cannot do that. And this, I think it's okay to leave it. To leave the backing paper on. Excuse me. I'll let the answer machine to handle that. Cannot stop. Okay, basically that's it. You can see with a large painting, you might see a corner, peeled off. That's normal because we're supposed to iron this painting on another piece of backing material, like the board or something. Any questions?
So I want to make sure I understood what you were saying. The option B, I could mount the silicone backing paper onto another backing, like museum board, and then put the painting on that.
That's right. Yeah, if you look at the instruction, we call that method B. It's much easier if you use heavier support. If the support is heavier than the painting, you could always use method B, which is you put the silicone on the front of that support and peel the paper off. This paper is a release paper. It's from a previous project. Okay, I just made a mistake. I think I turned it back. The release paper has a wax side which should be used against the painting. Okay. Anyway, I will just throw that away because I've used the wrong side. So you get a release paper when you have a method B project. Naturally, you put that on top of the painting and then iron it.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So okay, here's a good example. And you still see some bubble here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is completely okay as long as there's no wrinkle on this side. So that in many cases just means more ironing. But sometimes if you over iron, you might cause more wrinkles like that wave because the shrinkage is different. So when that happens, I think the best solution is just peel it off and iron it second time on a different support. Because the wrinkle on the supporting paper or the wave, sometimes it just happens. Maybe I still got some moisture from the table or something. Some people iron this side. Let me just do that. It might solve the problem. Just gently iron it. That makes it completely dry and completely flat. Doesn't really matter. I think it might. I'll just do this. But sometimes when you do that, you will create wrinkles on the front. Fortunately, I didn't. So that works. Okay, that works.